Hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. In this video we're going to be looking at Taito Arcade 2 on the Super Pocket. Is it worth buying? Let's find out. Okay guys, so let's have a look at Taito Arcade 2 on the Super Pocket. 9 further games from Taito. Now obviously if you have the Taito Super Pocket you don't need to buy this. There's only a few extra games that aren't really worth buying this for. So we've got Alpine Ski, Elevator Action, Kiki Kai Kai, Liquid Kids, Operation Wolf, Rastan, The Electric Yo-Yo, The New Zealand Story and Volfied. 9 really interesting games. I don't think I was as keen on this collection as I was on the first collection, but there's still some good games here that might be worth picking up for your Super Pocket. Now if you have the Alpha, I think you should certainly pick these collections up, but for the Super Pocket, let's have a look at the games. Okay, first game we're looking at is Alpine Ski. This is obviously one of the games that is new to the Evercade cartridge collection. Unfortunately it does use the sort of smaller screen, the sort of vertical aspect ratio, so for the Super Pockets right away you know that's not ideal. But it's not the worst at all. Graphically it's reasonably sized, so there's not too many small sprites which might put a lot of people off. And obviously yes, you can stretch the screen, we'll have a look at that in a minute. It might make it a little bit more sort of playable for the smaller screen, which isn't usually ideal, but some games you can just about get away with. And I have to be honest, I think this game is a lot of fun to play. Once you get used to the sort of control method that's used, you need to be a little bit gentle and just sort of taper the control on the D-pad slightly rather than being quite rough with it. But anyway, let's sort of stretch the screen just so you can see what it's like. Now, I wouldn't say I would condone playing this way. It's probably not ideal. You can see it does look pretty strange, but it's certainly a workaround for this game, I would say. But yeah, not ideal, is it? Right, next up we're going to look at the classic Elevator Action, certainly one of Taito's more recognisable titles. Now I still have the stretch screen on, so it probably won't affect some of these other games too much. I probably should change that just for the sake of it. So we've got 3 options. For the Super Pocket I would probably choose either original or full screen. Now one of the things I don't like about Elevator Action is that sometimes the controls are a little bit sort of sticky. Now that's not necessarily a problem with the D-pad or Super Pocket Evercade products. I think the game just is a little bit stiff to manoeuvre the character on the D-pad. Now in this game, going up and down is where the problem is. Sometimes I feel the character sticks a little bit, but I think that's probably how the arcade game sort of played, and it's probably sort of how it played originally in the arcade as well. It's just how it is. But yeah, it's fun enough, it's a classic, no doubt about it, and worth a quick bash. Okay, next up we'll get Kiki Kai Kai. Certainly not a favourite of mine. This one is super difficult. Now unfortunately on the Super Pockets we don't have access to the dip switches which you can use on the Evercade EXP-R VS, which is obviously a little bit disappointing, and you can't change the controls either. So it's got a few drawbacks compared to Evercade products, but again this is a budget device and it's only meant as a pick up and play game thing. There's a cheap alternative to get started into the Evercade sort of community or ecosystem, whichever you want to look at it. But this game's okay, but it's just extremely tough. And again, yeah, it is the Tate mode, vertically aspect ratio sort of style, and for the Super Pockets it's not ideal, but you can see the graphics aren't too small, so you can probably just about get away with it. Yeah, you can stretch the screen as well, but yeah, I think we've seen it doesn't look the best. So this game really doesn't look great when you stretch the screen at all. It just makes the character look you know, as if she's got a weight problem. But yeah, not ideal. I wouldn't probably advise playing the game like this. So next up we're going to look at Liquid Kids. Certainly one of my most favourite Taito games of recent years since I discovered it. I think it's fantastic. A really cool platform style game. Kinda cutesy, but don't be fooled, it is extremely challenging. Especially when you get to some of the boss battles, and yeah, you will lose lots and lots of lives while playing this game, but you will probably have a ton of enjoyment while playing it as well, and that's, I guess, what game playing is all about. And yeah, for sure, this game might be one of the games worth buying this collection for. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Okay, next up we're looking at Operation Wolf. Now obviously this was meant as a crosshair shooter on a sort of fixed position gun type of thing. On a D-pad, it really isn't amazing, but you can have a lot of fun with it. Now on the other Evercade devices, or on the VS for example, you can actually use the mouse, or a mouse, to play the game, and it definitely makes a massive difference. On the D-pad, I think you're really limited to how quickly you can get to take out the enemies. You can see it doesn't really move as fast as if you really would like it to move, and there's nothing you can really do about it, so you're going to probably struggle to reach some of the later levels in this game, and that's a little bit of a shame. But yeah, I definitely feel like you're really just a sitting duck while playing this game, because you can't really get to the enemies quick enough using the D-pad. But it's a shame. Really good fun game to play, but yeah, it's going to be an extreme high challenge trying to make your way through each of the sort of sections. But you never know, if you're good enough, you might be able to adapt. But still, classic game, great to see it, but probably best playing it on the Evercade VS using the mouse function. Okay, next we're looking at is Rastan. This is a sort of action, side-scrolling action slash-em-up style game. Action adventure, not really sure the best way of describing it, and it's extremely challenging. Looks fantastic though, sounds great, but yeah, just expect a hefty challenge. You are going to have to brutalise those save states massively while playing this game. And the only thing I don't like about the game is that the enemies only briefly touch you, and basically they can take half your energy bar away at that time, and it can be extremely frustrating. Feel as if you'll die, and I don't really feel as if it's any fault of your own. And the enemies do keep on coming, they just seem really, really random. You can probably walk back and forth and they'll just disappear again. So yeah, it's weird. No, not too bad. Quite a challenge. I think the first stage isn't the best way to start the game. I think it gets better the further you get into the game, but still it's a very, very challenging game, and those checkpoints are horrendous. Okay, next up we've got a new game for the Evercade cartridge collection. This is the Electric Yo-Yo. And unfortunately, as you can see, it's in the Tate mode style, vertical aspect ratio, and the graphics are tiny. So right away, not ideal for this Super Pocket at all. And you're going to struggle to see a lot of the things on screen. Now, obviously, yes, you can stretch the screen. How bad does it look? Yeah, this one probably not too bad at all. It's never the most ideal thing to do with these games, but some games you can just about get away with, and I think in this occasion you can probably get away with it. Might even make the game a little bit more enjoyable in this sort of way. At least you can see everything on screen at the one time, but keep that in mind if you're buying this collection. Okay, next we're looking at the New Zealand Story, perhaps one of the more better known games from this collection, and obviously the cover star. I'm pretty sure most people must have heard of the New Zealand Story. Basically all the Kiwis have been stolen by the evil seal, and it's up to you to try and go through the levels and rescue them. There's a few boss battles as well along the way. Very cutesy, quite challenging as well. Remember, it is an arcade style game. You will certainly get frustrated time and time again, especially the further into the game you go. But an absolute classic in my eyes, right enough. Not a lot of people might not have played this back in the day, unlike myself. I played this quite a lot and I really enjoyed it. Okay, final game we're looking at is Volfied. I think this was also on the Taito Super Pocket, and I'm not really sure why, because it's obviously in the sort of vertical aspect ratio, which isn't ideal. The graphics are just too small to make it playable, as you can probably see here. It's a sort of quick snake style game. You're basically trying to capture as much of the screen as possible whilst avoiding the enemies in the middle. I really like this game, but yeah, playing it like this, you can see you're really going to strain your eyes something awful. If we change the display to the full screen, just for sort of talking sakes, it just looks awful, doesn't it? It really, really looks awful. Yeah, I think sometimes you can get away with it, but I think, yeah, this doesn't look right at all, does it? Nah. Okay guys, my final thoughts. Now, I'm not too sure I can recommend this collection. There are a few good games on it. For example, the New Zealand Story is fantastic, but the other games, you're really going to have to weigh up. Can you put up with the smaller screen? Like Volfied, no. I would say Electric Yo-Yo, probably no, maybe not. Rastan's okay. Operation Wolf probably isn't ideal on a D-pad. Liquid Kids is fantastic. Say no to Kiki Kai Kai. Elevator Actions is good fun, bit sticky right enough on the sort of controls, but that's how it was. Alpine Ski, it's okay, it's not bad for a quick bash, but obviously it's got the sort of vertical aspect ratio as well. I would have to say this one I'm really on the fence with. I can't recommend it for your Super Pockets. You're going to have to sort of weigh that up. Which of these games do you really must play? I think the first collection is probably better for the Super Pockets. This one, not so much. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.